Hey there, friends. I'm popping on here because I was really thinking about a few things and I wanted to share just some thoughts and reflections that I've been thinking about. So, right now is a spring break for many people, and I'm going to get ready while we're doing this. And spring break usually is where I am off on holiday somewhere. And we used to tend to go on vacations with our kids during spring break. And this is the first year that we're not because my youngest daughter graduated high school last year. So she no longer has spring break being in college. And so this whole year since September has been different. And, it's given me time and opportunity to reflect on the last 25 years. So I came into Mary Kay before I had kids. I was newly married. I was working for with a job in my career. So let me give you a little backtrack here. So I went to university and got my degree in a Bachelor of Arts in Child and Youth Care. So what that was is, in essence, working with kids and families, counseling kids and families, and it was great. Loved it. And I was working for the government as a frontline worker. And at that time, 25 years ago, your funding all came down to who was in government. So you either had lots of funding and lots of work, or you didn't have very much funding and not enough work. So that was really hard as a young single person to support myself. So I then made the transition to go to nonprofit. And nonprofit is real feel good, but not a lot of money. Hence nonprofit, right? So I loved it though. I was working um matching and working with kids and families, and I really enjoyed it. But I knew long term it was going to be really hard to um create a really great income based on working for a nonprofit. And at the time, I was with my boyfriend, who is now actually my husband, Ian. And we, got engaged and then spent the year planning a wedding, got married. We got married in May and bought a house in August. Two of the most expensive things you can do in your life within a short period of time. Don't recommend it. Um, but it just that's just how things happen for us. So we bought this house. I was still working for a nonprofit and I liked my job, but I didn't know if it could help us with, grow our income now that we were homeowners. And so, when I got engaged, I had a friend who was actually the receptionist at my chiropractor office. And I asked her if she would help me with my makeup for my wedding. And she was not comfortable with that. And so she referred me on to a gal who was, and then went on to do my girlfriend's wedding 4 months later. And then at that wedding, she suggested that we get together. So let me give you a little backstory here. Makeup is it's a teachable skill. I used to wear my hair in a ponytail or pulled back and mascara, eyeliner, and lipstick. That was it. All this eyeshadow stuff, all these things, nope. Didn't know how to do it, didn't know how to pull it off, none of it. So literally, for me to be in the beauty industry based on what my routine was 25 years ago, yeah, I wouldn't even have thought to recruit me. So she does my wedding, and then she offers to come. She does my girlfriend's wedding, and then offers to come over to my house to help me pick out lipsticks because lipsticks always go orange on me. So I said, "Look, can you help me with that?" And she's like, "Absolutely." So she came over, and I was closing in on my 30th birthday soon, and I'm like, 30 always felt so like grown up, right? You're so adulting by then. And so I ended up buying skincare and lipstick, and anyway, fell in love with everything. And she said to me, "Have you ever considered something like this? Listen to this CD and tell me what you think." Now, I didn't know anything about direct selling companies, didn't know anything about direct sales, didn't know how any of it worked, had never been approached with any other company. I think I knew about Party Light and Tupperware. That's about it. And so I listened to the CD, and here's what I can tell you about that CD. 25 years later, what I remember about it is the woman in there talked about choices. And the choices you make today, you will reap the benefits and rewards or consequences in the next 5 years. And that really stuck with me because I thought, wow, like we make decisions all the time, every day, without even a thought. Oh, I'm going to do this today. I'm going to do that today. And many of us are driven by what we feel like doing, right? So that always sat with me, and I thought, okay. So I wasn't really interested in picking up another job, but what I knew, with buying a house, that would actually help with tax deductions for my income tax. And then as it happened, we bought this house, and then a few months later, our hot water tank needed replacing. And I was like, oh, shoot. We just gotten married. We just bought a house. We weren't rich. And I was able to create some sales and help with that, help uh, with funding the replacement of that. So that was huge. Like, that was kind of the first time in my business I really saw what a difference selling can make. So that was great. Now, did I think that I was going to create a career out of this? No, no. But here's what keeps happening. Life keeps happening, right? And we need to make choices about things continuously. And so, I helped with funding the replacement of our hot water tank. And then, within a year of getting married, we were pregnant with our first daughter. And so we are new homeowners. We are about to be parents. And maternity leave at that time was 6 months. Like, it wasn't long at all. And I kind of thought, like, what do you do after 6 months? Like, what am I going to do with my daughter after 6 months? So I kind of thought, well, maybe I should kind of pick up the pace a bit and see what I can do with this. And, never thinking that I would never not go back to work. But I kind of thought, well, maybe I could, supplement my part-time income with this, right? Like, if I had to go back to work part-time, maybe I could, you know, use my Mary Kay to help with the other part. Anyway, as it happened, I ended up continuously working. Now, when I say continuously working, I was working an 8-hour a day job, Monday to Friday. I was taking a night course. I was newly married. Like, I wanted to have some fun in my life. And so I really did, this business really on a part-time level to, well, first of all, to continue to help pay for my own product, but also just a little bit of extra money, like grocery money or going to the movies money. That was one of our favorite things to do. Let's go to the movies. And movies with popcorn and all that it adds up. So that's what I continued to do. And then by the end of about a year, year and a bit, I ended up, selling product, building a team, and I ended up, of course, here I am 8 months pregnant. I entered director in qualification. So that's qualification to become a director in this company. And, timing is probably the worst. I mean, most people, I don't think, would ever want to um, become a first time parent and go through a qualification at the same time. That just happens to be how it worked for me. I guess maybe I do better with a deadline. Anyway, so I was due to have my daughter in July, and I started qualifying to be a director May 1st. May, June, July. No, June 1st. June, July. Yeah. So that qualification period is usually 1 to 4 months. And I happen to kind of go, I should really make this as simple and painless as possible. So we ended up finishing qualifications in 90 days. Thank goodness. Because in that 90 days, I had my first daughter, and we finished qualifying to become a director and a team, and we earned our first car. Now, that is not how most people do it. So, that's just happens to be how I did it. But, little did I know that 25 years ago that that would be the start of things for me. So I had already been working on building a team, selling product, reaping the rewards from that. But what I came to understand is that the freedom and the flexibility that this business offers over and over and over again, no matter what point in time you are in your life, whether you're having children, getting married, have aging parents, I've had it all. I don't have grandkids yet, but I've had, a number of things where I have had to have that flexibility. So, did I know I was going to last, or that I was going to persevere, or I was going to build my business for 25 years? No, I didn't. I really just went step by step and enjoyed the process piece by piece, enjoying the people that I was meeting, enjoying the income that it was providing, enjoying the time that I had, when I wasn't having to show up 8 hours a day and still make extra money, or the time where once I had my daughter, I spent most of the day on the floor playing with her. You know, I would have people come over to my house, and we would sit there and play with the baby and play with some product. And, you know, was it easy? No. Did it always work out? And was it always seamless? No. Um, but I was able to create a schedule. And, here I am 25 years later, and the reflections are, things like, okay, this is the first spring break that we don't have spring break because my kids are no longer in public school. But, you know, for over 20 years, we took spring break off, and most of the time, we were out of the country holidaying. Could you do that every year with a job? I believe employers post-COVID are definitely better about that, but does it always work out for my friends? No, it didn't. So, I was able to travel with my kids over the holidays. My Mary Kay income is what provided that income for that. I was able to take time off. I took the summers off, you know. I drove them all over the place. I'm sure many moms, we all have, the different hats that we wear. We have the mom hat, we have the taxi cab hat, and we have the girlfriend hat, and we have the counselor hat, and we have the, cook hat, and we have the, arts and craft mastermind hat, right? Like we have all these hats that we wear. but I was able to wear multiple hats, build an income, and all with the freedom and the flexibility. And, as my kids were growing, my parents were aging. My parents both passed from cancer, and I was able to be there for them through that entire journey. And that is not a hard journey. Sorry, that is a very hard journey. Um, it's like nothing else, and being part of that, sandwich generation with, aging parents and young kids, that's a tough place to be. But the theme that keeps coming up is that flexibility. Mary Kay has provided a great income. We've earned multiple cars, diamonds. We've used the money from, that we've earned from this to travel. There's lots of those stuff things that Mary Kay's been able to provide. But the best thing that Mary Kay has given me is, first of all, choices. And second of all, flexibility. That flexibility for my parents, for my children, even now that my kids are grown, we've entered this whole new realm of we are parents of adult children. That's a whole other stage of life, right? It's the before grandparents kind of part of life. And the freedom and the flexibility, I'm not running all over the place like I was when the kids were little, but I could do date day with my husband when he has a day off during the week. Like there's things like that that provide fun and flexibility. And that's the one thing that I continually come back to in this business is just the freedom and the flexibility. Of course, the income potential is, you can't forget about that, right? Like you can't forget about that because, why would you stay in a job long term if you're not making money, right? So the income potential, of course, should have put my hair in a ponytail, and the flexibility to do that. I find that not everybody has the same flexibility. My girlfriends who work in schools, they have to take all their holidays around the school breaks. I don't necessarily want to do that. Well, especially now that my kids are older, I don't need to do that. We can holiday. Well, my youngest is in college, so she has to holiday around the college schedule. But, we don't have spring break, but we have longer in over Christmas, or they get out early. They're done in April or May. So that flexibility is huge. Yes, it's been nice with, earning the cars and the jewelry and the income. But the best part about it is who you become in the process. And sort of back to those choices that we talked about, right? Like those choices over the last 5 years or 25 years have provided income, flexibility, creativity to, create your life however you want. And just freedom, you know. Now, what I have learned is that most people in this type of industry, direct sales, they're not looking to replace their job. 95 to 98% of people are only looking to make some extra income or to get a great deal on their own product. You know, I mean, that was one of the things I fell in love with is I got a deal on my product. It was all about saving money. And, like I said, when I listened to that CD, it was choices. It was about the ability to make my own choices instead of an employer making those choices. So, the very first choice I made after I had my daughter was to not go back to work for someone else. She was 6 months old, and I was able to say to my employer, "I'm not coming back." Now, that might not be your life, that might not be what you're looking to do. I mean, now maternity leave is 12 or 18 months, depending on, sort of how you set that up. That's pretty phenomenal, right? So, I didn't have that choice, right? So, for me, I had to either go back at 6 months or, um find some sort of childcare. I didn't want to do that. So I left. That was just the way it was. So, you know, I stayed home with my daughter, raised her, and worked my Mary Kay at the same time. Now, here's part of what I can tell you. Everything I've done today is a teachable skill because 25 years ago I had no idea how to do this. So, here we go, right? It's all teachable. Makeup is teachable. You know, direct sales get a bit of a bad rap because they think, well, you have to do this, you have to do that. But you know what? Direct sales, you get to kind of create whatever you want out of your direct sales business and get involved in a direct sales business that you love, right? Don't do something because you think you should or your friend is, or do it because you love it, right? Do it because you love their product. That's the best part about direct sales. And I just have to say, you know what? This fun, freedom, flexibility has been the ultimate gift for me and my family. So, I'm not here to tell you should do something. I'm not here because I think, Mary Kay is the only direct selling business. No, there's lots out there. But I can tell you that this is what Mary Kay has done for me. This is one of the things that not one, many of the things that I have found this business has offered me and my family. And I'm really grateful. 25 years, I'm really grateful that, well, first of all, I kept showing up, kept doing the work because, direct sales is fun, but it is not a passive income. You have to work, right? We collect amazing customers who fall in love with our product and who make sharing this product easier, but I still treat it like a job, right? So, just like it's in everything else, if you're going to go to work for somebody, you got to show up and go to work. It's not it's not a business that's going to just trickle into your bank account without sharing. And, it is a great business. But what I love about it is the freedom and flexibility. Over the last 25 years, the freedom and the flexibility that I have been able to create for my kids, little kids, babies, little kids, high school kids, now adult children, aging parents, family, life in general, and, my husband's going to be retiring in about 5-7 years. It's a great job that I can continue to do while he's retiring and we get to spend more time together. So, yeah, I'm super grateful. Super grateful. So, I just wanted to pop on here and just share with you guys why I'm so grateful, what I've loved about this. And you know what? Check out direct sales. They have lots to offer. Thanks. Have a great day.